Hello, folks. I'm Officer Rob Kelleher. Thanks for joining me tonight. Tonight's topic, we're going to talk about some winter issues. There are a lot of issues, but I'm going to touch on a few of them that I thought were real important for this time of year. The first one I'm going to talk about is snow and ice removal from your motor vehicle. With the large amount of snow that we've had recently and the more that's coming, unfortunately, you really need to clean your motor vehicle off. If you're going to be traveling on a public way, you need to have your vehicle free and clear of any snow or ice, because you are responsible if you're driving along and a chunk of ice falls off your vehicle and causes someone else to incur damage or maybe get in a motor vehicle accident, avoiding large debris off your vehicle. You're going to be responsible for that motor vehicle crash. So please, and it's also good for your safety. If your windows are blocked with snow, you're not going to be able to see very much. So please, it is the law, and it's just taking some personal responsibility. If you're going to be driving on the roads, please clean your motor vehicle off with snow and ice. This is New England. I know we have some large vehicles. So please, they do make equipment that have telescoping extended handles so you can reach, if you have a large vehicle, an SUV. You can't just say that, oh, I can't reach it. Okay, you need to get the proper equipment for you to clean your vehicle off. That also includes buses and tractor trailers. They have the same issues with trying to keep their vehicles clean as well. So if everybody does their part, we'll be safe on the roads. Next I want to talk about, and this is an important issue, is obstructed view. Your obstructed vision, when people do not take the time and clear their windshields and their other windows and mirrors so they can see, causes a real danger to everybody on the roadways. Those folks who try to look out a hole this size and try to drive their vehicle is not safe, okay? And I can tell you it's not going to be tolerated. You become a serious liability and danger to everyone if you're going to take that chance of trying to look through a 4x4 hole and drive your automobile safely. Okay, you will be stopped and you will be cited, and you will not be able to move your vehicle until your windows are clear. So again, it's personal responsibility, and be safe and be aware of others. And it's hard enough driving in the ice and snow conditions in New England. It's a lot easier if you do it when your vehicle is clear, free and clear of any obstructed view. In my career here in Merrimack, we've had some pretty horrific crashes due to those people trying to look out the 4x4 view out of a windshield. And we've had some serious crashes and serious injuries to other folks. So if you're just taking that 5-10 minutes longer, the accident could have been avoided. And we don't consider that an accident because that's a deliberate act. You failed to clear your window, so that's a crash. And again, your insurance company will not be very happy with you not clearing your vehicle. So please, clear your vehicle, top, sides, your window, defrost your car. Again, that's personal responsibility, right? We do live in New England. It's cold out. We have a lot of frost and ice. So plan ahead. Okay, if you normally get up at 6 o'clock to leave by 6:30, you might have to get up at, 5:45, so you can let your car warm up for that 5-10 minutes so your vehicle is ready for you to go to work or bring your kids to school or, whatever you may need to do. But it's your responsibility to be able to see free and clear of any obstruction if you drive on a public way. Now let's get into preparedness. I have a wide variety of issues that I want to talk to you about due to winter conditions. First is phone numbers. Do you have a list of emergency phone numbers that may come in handy in the case of a, natural disaster type incident, the big ice storms or, trees down? We've had a recent pretty big windstorm where there's a lot of trees that fallen down, causing a lot of damage to property and people. Do you have those phone numbers handy? Do you have the non-emergency phone number for the police department, which is 424-3774? When the automated machine picks up, you hit 0 for a live dispatcher. And with that non-emergency number, they can dispatch police, fire, and ambulance. So if you have that number, you'll be covering your bases. With that said, do you have the phone number for the water department? The cold weather that we've been having, issues arise with maybe frozen pipes bursting, joints freeze up, and with the hot and cold weather, they might leak inside your house. Do you have the water department's emergency phone number? How about, do you know where your water shutoffs are in case of, leaking pipes or something to do with your water? Get familiar with that stuff before things happen so you know what to do. If it helps, write something down on a piece of paper, instructions. Maybe you're not home, maybe you're on vacation and you have other folks watching your house or, family members. Do they know where your water shutoff is? Do you know where your water shutoff is in your front yard for the water department? So in case of an emergency, with the snow covered and all that, you can, tell them, I know right where the water main shutoff is. Little things like that might help. It might decrease the amount of damage to your property in case of an emergency. I have some other stuff listed here that I want to talk about. Do you have emergency school alerts? Are you registered to get emergency alerts from schools, whether it's the school district or maybe your child goes to a private school, Bishop Girton or something? Try to get some emergency contact information so you can be notified in case there's an emergency. Nixle. Nixle is a great resource for us. We provide Nixle with all our emergency alerts. So if you sign up for Nixle, that's Nixel, you just sign up and you can receive emergency alerts either by cell phone, email, text. So whatever's convenient for you. Again, if it's an emergency in the winter, you might not have power, so you might not, but the cellular service most of the time is up and running, so it's good to get those alerts maybe on your phone. If you have a smartphone, you can get those emails and text messages. Facebook, Twitter, all those social media sites are a great resource for emergency information, preparedness. All the state preparedness agencies, the town emergency department, they all use the social media now because we can reach out to a lot of folks and we can share information quickly so more people can get help. They're more knowledgeable, they know where to go, so it cuts down the phone calls to the police department, the fire department. We can get that information out to everybody in a really quick time frame, and we're able to provide really good, accurate, up-to-date emergency information by those sites. So something to think about. If you're not into the electronics, there are some pros to keeping up with electronics these days. With the smartphones and stuff, you have immediate access to a lot of good information, great resource. So we utilize it as much as we can to help the folks. So the information we get, we get it right out to you. On another note, how about your insurance company? Have you talked or read over your insurance policy or talked to your agent to find out what kind of coverage you have on your property in case a tree falls through your roof? What you can do, how do you get help instead of waiting until the storm is done and now you're trying to save and protect your property. If you talk to them, you might be able to get some insight as to what needs to be done. If a tree does fall on your house, can you call a tree service to come out and remove the tree, and a contractor to come out and patch your roof temporarily until you can get a more permanent contractor in there. Those are the type of things. How about water damage? There's a lot of issues if a pipe breaks and you have water damage in your house. The biggest fear is mold. So if you do have water damage, you want to get that water removed as fast as you can. So if you talk to the insurance company, they have companies that they work with all the time. So like ServPro and a couple other disaster type companies like that. If you have those numbers, and if your insurance company allows you to call them direct, or if you know the procedure, you can get those services a lot faster than trying to wait until the storm is over with, or the disaster. So if you're prepared, you can save yourself a lot of money and save a lot of your property from getting damaged. Let's talk about some more important issues aside from your property is yourself and your family. The preparedness emergency corporations and agencies, they suggest that you have at least 3 days supply of food and water per person in your household. So, a family of 4, you need to have, a decent supply of water and some, canned goods, or, some perishable foods that, you can make to survive for at least 3 days. That's the average that they suggest that every home should have. And if you have pets, make sure you have a little extra in these, winter times where, it's more likely than not that we're going to have some power outages. So please have some extra food for your dogs, and some water for them, and also your family. And let's talk about if there is a power outage like the ice storm that we had a few years ago, and you're going to be without power for a while. It's nice if you have a generator and you're able to, have a generator on standby. But do you really know how to use that generator? Because, maybe the person that you have that comes over and takes care of it and sets it up for you, they might not be available. So do you have a backup plan? Do you have more than one person available to assist you if you cannot do it yourself? I would suggest that you take some time and get familiar with the rights and the wrongs with using a generator. They're very good. They, give you electricity to, stay comfortable in your home during the power outages, but there's also some dangers that come along with using a generator. And first and foremost is carbon monoxide. They recommend that you keep a generator at least 10 feet away from your house, because if you keep it inside, or some people keep it in their basement, that generator is giving off a large amount of carbon monoxide, which is a deadly gas. It's odorless and you cannot smell it, taste it. So it's extremely dangerous. What can prevent death from carbon monoxide is to have CO detectors, okay? Carbon monoxide detectors. Especially, we live in New England, we do use a lot of generators, for backups. So please, if that is your backup plan and you do plan on using a generator, please have some carbon monoxide detectors in your home, because for some reason, if the wind's blowing and it does get back into your house, at least you'll be alerted and you can fix the problem. Otherwise, you might not get that chance, and it could be fatal. With using a generator, simple reminders such as, do you have extra gas? You might fill the gas tank in your generator, but that's only going to last for a few hours. Do you have an extra can of gas handy? That was a big issue with that ice storm a few years ago, is people were running out of gas for their generators. The gas stations, local gas stations, were running out of fuel. So it was, to be prepared, again, they say, prepare enough for at least 3 days. Then after that, you have to start, really looking for, longer and further preparedness. How about some flashlights? We need light. Do you have extra batteries? You won't be able to, if you don't have a generator, you won't be able to use, rechargeables, because you won't be having the electricity. So it's good, even if you do use a generator, if something happens to your generator and, it doesn't work, it breaks down, have some flashlights and some extra batteries. It just goes along with that, preparedness. Have you made arrangements in case, again, your generator doesn't work? It breaks and it can't be fixed. Do you have a plan in place? Do you have friends or relatives that you can go to? And, ask them, have a plan, say, hey, do we have enough supplies, in case we have to, come down for a week? We'll make a little preparedness package, with some extra blankets maybe, stuff like that. So if this does happen, it's a lot easier being prepared. It's a lot less stressful. Things just go a lot smoother. There's a good transition. If you have, if you care for elderly parents or, neighbors maybe, try to talk to them and try to teach them and maybe learn together on, what you need to, help each other out in case, of a disaster type situation and, you lose power. We already talked about your pets. If you do have some elderly neighbors or, parents, you're going to have to think about their pets. If they have like a preparedness package set up, you might need to, have a little extra on hand to take care of their pets. Do you have crate carriers and, pet beds and stuff like that? Just stuff to think about, because those are the issues that come up when it's freezing cold and you can't stay in your house. A lot of times people don't have a plan. They don't know where to go. A lot of shelters won't take pets. A lot of people that have pets don't want to go to shelters with their pets. A lot of shelters now are keeping a area open for pets, but the pets can't be around the food, and they can't be around the living areas. So oftentimes it becomes an issue where people don't want to go to the shelters with their animals. So if that's the case, have another plan. If you again have relatives or friends somewhere else, another state or whatever that you can go to, that's perfect. But as long as you have something in mind and you think about it prior to it happening, that's the key. Let's talk about electronics, okay? This day and age, everything's done by electronics. You get a surge, power surge, your power goes out. Do you have your electronics? Do you have them on surge protectors? Do you have your files backed up on your computers? All that stuff can save you a lot of heartaches and headaches if you take those steps and you prepare for situations to happen before they occur. If your TVs, your high-end TVs, if you spend a lot of money on these electronics, if you don't have surge protectors on them, the insurance companies might not, pay for your electronics. That's another thing you can talk to your agent about and ask them, what are they going to cover your high-end TVs and stereo systems and, DVD players and all this other, fancy electronic stuff, your big screens, computer monitors, and, all your tech computer, your hard drives, all that stuff. So if you have all that stuff on backup files and all that, it's one less thing you have to worry about in a bad situation. And another good thing is, if there is, a tree that goes through your roof, or you get water damage, or God forbid a fire starts in your home, do you have your important paperwork? Do you have that stuff in a fireproof and waterproof safe? If you don't, you should. We have some important information and paperwork that we need. So take a few minutes to think about it, and prepare yourself, prepare your family, your personal documents, and whatever else is personal to you. Make sure they're in a safe location in case of some kind of disaster. I want to go back and talk about generators because it's a big issue, right? When the power goes out, everybody wants their power back, as soon as possible, and they don't want to be, without their TV, their refrigerator, their heat. I understand that, but again, do you have a working knowledge of how to set up your generator and have it running safely? If you don't, have it inspected by an electrician, the town's building inspector. Some people hardwire them in to their electrical panel. Some have the switch, the automatic switch, so if the power goes out, you just plug your generator in and it will make everything safe, so when the power does come back on, it doesn't backfeed into your panel and set your house on fire, or possibly cause somebody to be electrocuted. So there are some dangers, some severe dangers in running a generator. So please take the time now, get prepared, and if you're unsure of my helpful hints, you can always go online and go under a preparedness.com website. I know FEMA has a lot of good information on there. New Hampshire Emergency Management has a lot of information. So you can go on the web and find a lot of information on preparedness and what you need. They give you a list of supplies, all different stuff. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody watching this show becomes a little more prepared in these, natural disasters or, power outages or, any type of severe weather-related incidents that we occur in New England, that you're a little more prepared than you were yesterday. Okay? So I hope I helped you out, and thank you for viewing my show. Have a good day.